they say every couple of generations, one generation is bound to experience the most life-changing events in history. And so far, it's looking like Gen Z is fitting the boot. Okay, maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but can you blame me after all the things we've had? Most of us were born around the time or after.
Listen. Some of y'all missed George W. Bush. Consider yourself lucky. Ass.
After one of the most devastating terror attacks in modern times happened. We saw our parents trying to keep their sanity during the 2008 financial crisis. As soon as we stepped out into the real world as adults, everything decided to shut down because of COVID in 2020. We've been having drills since we were 5 at school in case a lunatic comes in and mows the whole school down. And now to add the cherry on top, we may be running back to draft and being put on the warfield. Excuse me, I meant you guys may be running back to draft and on the warfield. I just found out I'm highly on the spectrum, so unfortunately that means I can't qualify. But good luck, future soldiers. I'll give y'all each a high five and you can have fun on the battlefield. It's crazy how Gen Z is kind of running back what millennials had. Because millennials had a war growing up with a terrible economy and had to worry about if they could even afford a house. But man, at least they had good music coming out. What the f do we have for these turmoil times? I don't think I really have to explain too much what's going on. If you don't keep up with the news, you've probably seen the memes already about hitting 360 no scopes on the battlefield. But the United States of America officially got involved with the Israel and Iran conflict and decided to drop 3 bombs on what they say is their nuclear sites. But of course, that's just a theory.
Bunker busters.
Alright, I'm sorry. I feel like I need to take these matters more serious. Now, I'm not gonna say too much of my personal opinion on it and break this down like it's a 5-hour political podcast. I usually say and talk about things more on stream, so definitely go follow me on there in the second channel. But it's not surprising that everyone is scared online and doesn't know what's gonna happen. You know, in the past, you usually didn't have a president tweeting that they bombed a country, then posting a low PNG photo of the American flag.
Hey, y'all chose him. You feel me? You get what you vote for. You feel me? Or what the electoral college, you feel me, awards you for your votes. You know how that go. But that's tough. Like, that's tough. Hey, listen. Me personally, I'm not afraid of Iran. I think the U.S. government is way more than capable. The U.S. military is more than capable of handling anything Iran dishes out. Of course, they got allies, Russia, so that can get a little tough. If that gets a little, if they get involved, it could get murky. It could get murky, but I'm not worried about Iran. They just attacked a base, or they tried to send missiles towards a base, a U.S. base over there close to where they are, and it just didn't work. The U.S. shot all the missiles down. So it's just like, I'm not worried about a bomb or a nuke coming to the U.S. Like, I don't see that happening. Before it even gets halfway across the ocean, that thing getting cooked. Word, I don't see it happening.
Right after. This is definitely the worst time to be the ripe age of 18 to 25 because we going first if the draft happens. Unfortunately, high school class of 2025, you only got a couple of seconds of freedom before you were cooked. I've been thinking to myself for a while, in a hypothetical, unlikely scenario of them actually doing a draft, the government doesn't realize that
it would not work with Gen Z.
Gen Z has got to be the worst generation for them to try and get on the war train.
Hey, no,
and
for
this
real.
isn't even mentioning about all the femboys and furries we got. Not even talking about how half of us are either morbidly obese or twigs. One of the main reasons I think war wouldn't work with Gen Z is because the propaganda age of America is officially dead. And not just America, any country that has some form of free press is absolutely cooked. The reason why people back then were so patriotic and would do anything to be in the army in war times, you had kids who were in high school lying about their age so they could serve in the army, was because so many people trusted what the politicians said and how the media said things. Politicians were treated as saintly figures that would never do bad for the American people, because why would they? They sit on
Boy, I'm glad I ain't grow up in that generation, not for real.
And do cool speeches about us fighting for our democracy and freedom. And now we look back at certain conflicts America got in and realized that there was no point in us being there. Like, almost nobody nowadays thinks the Vietnam War was something America needed to get involved in. And it's crazy how the #1 superpower for military in all things lost to that were setting up Looney Tune ad traps in the ground.
Boy, they had them spikes. That's tough. Ain't no way. But it was following them traps, boy. That little ass trap.
Also, the Iraq War is universally seen as a dumb war that shouldn't have happened by people now. Like, even Trump and Obama agree on that. That's probably the only thing they agree on. The reasons why these work, though, is because it was so much easier to push propaganda in the past. Like, in the Vietnam War, they were playing TV ads saying this was all about freedom and nothing else. Taking ads out the newspaper saying the only way to be a man
taking
is by
advantage
getting drafted to war.
of folks' patriotism.
Before social media,
That's
everyone
tough.
basically believed it because that's all that was shown. There wasn't anyone with major platforms that would go against it because they would get censored, and everyone watched media through a few news channels which would all say the same thing. During the Iraq War, though, that's when you first started seeing people actually start speaking up about things, saying, hey, maybe going into a country and murdering innocent civilians and committing war crimes isn't a good thing, just maybe. But social media was still in its baby phases at the time it was going on, so there was still a lot of enthusiasm for it. But now with Gen Z, we grew up in the most free era of social media. No one would go because everyone would know it would be another lie that the government is doing. And the military's numbers have already been dropping more than ever. People have been making fun of it because they be trying to recruit soldiers anywhere they can now.
See, and that's the whole point. Like, that's one of the best. Like, social media is got the good, got the bad. Like, you feel me? Like, on one end with the bad, you got people who just yap. You got people who feel like they can say anything with no repercussions, just give their opinion. Their opinions are gold, and they just feel like they know everything. You feel me? But then you got the good, where it's like information gets fed out to you at a fast rate. People can put their opinions out if they do care about something and they feel like they should speak on something. You might go viral off of your opinion. You feel me? These days, you feel me? And we just got a bunch of like different outlets: Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Snapchat, if you still use Snapchat, and just a bunch of different outlets, YouTube, to just get your opinion out there and just start conversations and just get information out and also consume information. You feel me? So a lot of people just not going for like none of the bullshit anymore. You feel me? You got too many conspiracies, too many different factors with the government and who's controlling the government and who's running the government, who's a puppet. You feel me? We got Israel, we got people talking about how the Zionists and all these different theories about what's going on, and you feel me, with the US and Israel and who's in cahoots with who and who's running who. You feel me? We just not going for it anymore. We tired of the wars. You feel me? You see what happened when Russia started going to war with Ukraine. The people hated Russia. Hated them. They to the point where brands start cutting themselves off, McDonald's and all these other brands, and I think it was the USPS or some FedEx start cutting off, Netflix start cutting off their Russia ties. Like, it's just when it comes to social media and then we got war going on, it can get tough. Like, the people of a country could suffer greatly just because, you feel me, your government decided let's go to war. Especially if you got an underdog like a Ukraine or even like an Iran. People been protesting against Israel for like 2 years straight. You feel me? Word too. So it's like, it's tough. It's tough, but yeah, social media got the good and the bad, but I'll take it. I'll take it rather than living back then when you just had one source. And it was the TV, it was your news outlet, it was the CNNs, it was the Foxes or whoever. You just took their word for it. Nah, I'd rather, you know what I mean? We gonna leave the fake news alone, and we can pick and choose where we consume our info and who we can listen to, and it's just different these days. That's why I appreciate this era that we in, even though it's a lot of BS. It's a lot of good stuff that come with it too. You feel me?
They've been seen at anime cons. They got whole Twitch channels now. They even got them at NBA games now. I'm not gonna lie, if I'm watching my glorious king LeBron putting up 40 points and a military sergeant comes up to me like, hey son, this game sure is great, right? Have you ever thought of the game of fighting for your country? Like, get the fuck out my face, bro. I'm watching LeBron. Even if there was a chance it was true and we were rightfully defending ourselves from evil, the US government has lost so much trust in the public that no one would believe them. I don't know a single man I've asked in Gen Z that said they would actually go if they got drafted.
Me personally, I'm going to jail. I'm on my Muhammad Ali tip. I'm going to, they even thought about knocking on my door, sending a mail, email, physical mail, any type of mail saying I gotta get drafted, I'm going overseas, I'm cooked. I'm going on a run. I'm cooked. I always said, listen, me personally, the military, that's the last resort. I gotta be homeless. I ain't gonna lie. I gotta be homeless. I gotta be on my last leg. That's the last resort, military. Military? Hell nah. I never want to be at the mercy of the government of people who just go to war for the littlest things. These people these higher ups go to war for the littlest things, and we gotta pay the price. We gotta die on the front line. You chilling. I'm on the front line with an M16 or whatever. Going to war, dude? Hell no, never me. That's over with. I ain't gonna lie.
Most would rather just take the prison time or fine than go. And looking at it in the long run, it's not even that bad. It's 5 years in prison max if you don't go. So it's either you get 5 years max in prison for not going and stay alive, or go and potentially get obliterated on the battlefield by a missile straight to the head. Hey man,
a supersonic missile to the head, I'm good.
In that prison for every day we not in the war field. I got a friend that served in the military for a couple of years, and even he said nowadays he'd rather take the prison time. Also, the younger generation has realized we don't want to fight a war because of a politician's beef. Like, why don't y'all fight it yourselves? Why I gotta grab them?
That's what I just said. They be going to war with the dumbest shit. It really be them people up top that be butting heads, and because of whatever decision they make based on their little beef, we gotta go to war down here. No, never. I'll take the fine. Take me to jail. You feel me? We gonna serve the time. Cause I'm coming out alive. I'm coming out alive. Fuck what y'all heard.
Military equipment while you sit on a plane watching from above drinking champagne. They should host a boxing match every year for world leaders, and whoever wins, their country gets the most benefits for that year. Looking at our leader for now though.
You know what's crazy? I think I sent that tweet out before. I said that before I gotta find it. I literally said, yo, on some Hunger Game shit, the world leaders, when they have a disagreement, they should fight to the death, and whoever wins, that's who wins. It's gotta be something better than just going to war and launching nukes. Because nukes is crazy in this era, especially when y'all literally, listen, the last nuke that they shot, it probably doesn't even compare to what we got now. What we got now, Hiroshima, nothing. We could probably take out a whole city easily. New York, Chicago, LA, any major city you can think of in this country and another country, wiped out by a nuke, wiped out. That's what we got now. So it's like, why we have nukes to this day, I never know. Why Iran is even fighting so hard to have nukes, which is why we dropped the bunker busters on them, because they want to have the capabilities of protecting themselves from what? When no nukes have been launched. We should be trying to dismantle, not up the ante, but I mean, with nukes in this day and age just don't even make sense. Like, it don't even make sense to the environment, to the people. Like, we just trying to live. I'm just trying to live. Like, come on, B.
Yeah, we might be losing for the next couple of years if that happens. Also, growing up in this age, we've gotten exposed to how badly these war injuries leave people. This right here might be the sole reason Gen Z would never join in. There's always a chance you could end up with one of those. People in war lose body parts I didn't even know was possible to lose. The day I'm at war and they try to obliterate my meat, the whole place is getting torn down. They should have tried to stop those images from coming out, because who the hell would want to potentially get involved in a war after seeing pictures like that? And it's crazy because it could happen at any moment to you on the warfield. One day you're chilling in the breezy weather of Iraq and
You step on a mine or something, it's cooked.
You're vibing, then you look to
Whole
the right
leg
and
cooked.
see a man with 20 cc's of C4 strapped to his chest running to you at Usain Bolt speed.
Hey,
And now you
yo.
end up looking like Two-Face back at home. I'm not sitting here and saying all of America's wars were unjustified though. Like, I always appreciate the veterans out there who fought, because
Shout out
most
to
of the
the
time,
vets.
even if the war ended up being unjustified,
I'm just
a
not
lot
trying to be a
joined
vet.
fight for justified reasons and what they were
But
doing.
shout out to them,
and
though.
felt bad when they realized it was a lie. And also for World War II, America was justified in a lot. Like, let's be real, mainly making sure Adolf didn't end up owning the world. But like I said, no matter how justified
Word.
a conflict may be, the trust is gone from the public. It'll take a real hard campaign to have the youth agree the government is totally not lying in what they're saying. And the president we have now is totally not a liar, right?
One thing I can promise you this: I will always tell you the truth.
Me personally, I think every president is a puppet. That's just me personally. Yeah, I don't care if it was Trump. I don't care if it was my baby name. Damn it, I forget her name right now. That's how you know I don't care. But yeah, it doesn't matter to me. Like, they all puppets. Whoever was going to get in was going to have an agenda they was going to push, set in front of them. Simple.
He don't even believe that himself. Do you see his face? He was probably holding back a laugh so hard in his mind. That's the thing that's most important in a war, having a person that the younger generation wholeheartedly trusts. It's a reason why a lot of dictatorships completely ban social media, because they can fully propaganda the younger generation.
Oh,
to
China,
look up
they
to
in-
the leader, and they're all
they in
believe it.
control.
Even having someone that
They
they
in
trust
control.
is hard, but having someone that the younger generation
Dictatorship.
doesn't trust, yeah, it's gonna be damn near impossible for the government to try to get us on the war train with that. No matter your view on Trump, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that most of Gen Z does not have a good
Kamala Harris. I just thought of her name. Or Kamala. I don't know. I think that's how you pronounce her name, but just thought of it.
view on him. You take a room of 10 of us, and I would say at least 8 people are gonna say they don't like him. And look, like I've said in the past, I'm not even one of those
Reasonable.
that's a Trump hater 24/7 and spends all day writing hate articles on him. But if you truly
Facts.
think the younger generation would fully be behind him declaring a war on another country, you're delusional. Bro, we just had
Hell
a
no.
protest around the
Hell
whole
no.
country against what he's doing. And because he's commander-in-chief and can set whatever war policies he wants, I would not trust what the this would implement. Like, what if he implements a policy where if your meat is smallest, you gotta be the first to go because you probably can't repopulate the population after it drops from all the casualties? All of us would be like, I don't know if I can trust the man
Hey, yo.
leading the war that says this on stage.
Because they asked me what I do, and I said, I'm gonna bomb the out of them.
Imagine he forgot there was a couple of soldiers on the warfield and threw one right in the middle of the fight. Also, another reason why the younger generation wouldn't be motivated to join in is because we really got nothing to look forward to and have no hope for an American dream. Our economy's still from
Trash.
COVID and inflation is still going on. No one can get a job on the mainland already. And most of Gen Z ain't gonna get a house in their lifetime.
Well, I'm
At
telling
least
you.
back then, when you fought a war, you had those things to look forward to. You came
Facts.
back and could work a shift as a cashier and buy a house in 2 years.
Listen, economy cooked, inflation cooked, housing market cooked. It literally doesn't even make sense. They talking about to even be comfortable, you have to make 6 figures just to be comfortable. 6 figures or more. That's insane. It literally doesn't make any sense, but
years. Nowadays, instead of that, you're gonna come back and have no work available to you, probably still be living with your parents. All the femcells on Twitter and TikTok are gonna be laughing at the men dying on the warfield. And don't count on the government to help you either after. It's so sad to me that there's people out there that served the country and helped keep it alive, only for them to end up homeless with no help from the government.
That's
In what
crazy.
world should homeless
A lot of
veterans
homeless
even
vets.
be a thing,
Facts.
bro? We spend $880 billion on the military a year. Everyone who served in war should be eating good and kicking back for the rest of their lives. They did something that none of us wanted to do in the politicians and then got the end of the stick. If I was them, I would take back all of my service and stay my ass on the mainland. The government has tried to right those wrongs and make better benefits for people, but you still end up with people who got left behind and have nothing after. The only reason why I would even join, to be honest, is the benefits. I just have to sit there and pray that a war doesn't actually happen. Because for real, I'd only want the free insurance and vacations. The war field is a different...
That's why I said the only way I would ever join the military is if I'm on my last leg, just because of maybe some of the benefits. And I can live decent. I can get back on my feet. That's about it.
Conversation. I'm gonna have to take my prison time for that game. Anyways, that's gonna be it. For anyone in Gen Z that's actually worried about a draft in war, I'm gonna let you know right now, there's about a 95% chance no draft happens. Like, first off, half of our paycheck if you live in the United States goes to the military. We spend $880 billion a year on the military, and Iran spends a whopping $10 billion. Their whole military operation would get wiped in like 2 nanoseconds if they actually tried to attack civilians. They would learn the true reason why we don't have free healthcare. The last thing they'd ever want to do is let all politicians put their political beliefs aside and let Congress come together and let Trump do whatever the he wants to do in a war. It wouldn't matter if their allies got involved, which I don't think they would even do. They would have so much more to lose with Iran, like it wouldn't be worth it. Also, they wouldn't do it because I'm here. They know I don't play when I say leave us alone. Anyways, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
W video, you feel me? Hey, I ain't going to war. Not for real. I'm just trying to live. I'm trying to survive. I'm trying to move forward. You feel me? They can have whatever wars to themselves over there. Y'all handle that. I'll take the time. I'll take the fine. But I'm definitely not going to war for the U.S. I'm not going to lie. Yeah, man. W video, it's your boy Finesse Dog. Feel me? Something different for the channel. Feel me? We going to keep growing. We're going to keep reacting. We're going to keep giving our opinion, you dig? Sub up. You feel me? Like the video. Shout out to my man. My man name Tommy NFG. We out. Nah, for real.